Remember, so much drama that we've got to discuss championship implications of what happened at Shanghai. But that's all to come. Let's head down to the grid and catch up with Sammy to get a sense of the atmosphere.
欢迎大家来到珠海国际赛车场观看亚洲保时捷凯迪拉杯2026年赛季第3回合的赛事直播。Hello everyone and welcome to Zhuhai International Circuit for round 3 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2026 season. I would like to invite Alex Imperatori, the series manager of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, to join us. Let's welcome Alex. Hi Alex.
Hello everyone. Hello Sammy.
Yes, Alex, since the opening round in Shanghai, the competition has been really stepping up on the grid. What have you observed so far, and how would you assess the performance of the new car and the drivers?
Yes, we have 30 cars this year, and when looking at the gaps from this morning in qualifying, I think we can really say that we have both depth and breadth of talent on the grid this year in PCCA. And with the new car being introduced from this season onwards, we've seen lap records fall already in Shanghai by over a second and a half, and again this morning here in Zhuhai. So the new car is definitely doing the job, and we're looking forward to some exciting racing this afternoon.
Speaking of Zhuhai, this is the first time in 5 years that we come to Zhuhai, and you have raced on this track before. So from a technical perspective, how would you expect the new car to perform in this circuit?
Well, Zhuhai is a very brake-intensive circuit with a lot of time under braking, so it's a big test for all the braking system. But the good news is that this is an area that is also new to this car with the introduction of the ABS on the 992.2 Cup car, and I expect that this is an area where the ABS will shine and really show its step up compared to the previous model.
So over the weekend, what are the key storylines can we expect?
I think on all level of competition we will see really close fights. Obviously on the front row we have Nakib, who's again put it on pole this weekend, and he's got next to him the Porsche Junior Marcus Amon. So I expect strong fighting between these two. But of course the rest of the talent pool keeps improving, and they keep learning about this new car and about the championship in general. We see Amna making big improvements from session to session. Marco Giltrap and Rodrigo Almeida are right there on the second row. So yeah, it's increasing competition, I would say. But throughout the field also we have developing stories. I think Bao and UK will be fighting strongly in the Pro-Am. We have 11 cars in the field in the AM category, which is always keeping us on our toes. And the Masters class for today's race, I think the top 3 was in the same tenths of a second. So again, very close competition there.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun weekend. Thank you so much, Alex. Let's pass it back to our commentators.
Thank you, Sammy. So many storylines that I want to talk about, but let's focus first on championship very quickly, because remember, at Shanghai, our first race, red flagged after the opening lap, and it meant that we paid out championship points based on how things went in qualifying. We got race 2 under our bag though, and so now starting to see the championship picture emerge. And so now head into Zhuhai, where air temperature 30 degrees, and as much as that chance of rain strikes us at 0, track temperature at 36 degrees. It's going to be a challenge for the Michelin tyres as they deal with the heat from the Brembo brakes as well. We heard from Alex Imperatori, who's won here in GT machinery in the past, but also raced open wheels around here, and so probably has a pretty good sense for the mix of heavy braking zones and then long straights, and so opportunities for momentum to be disrupted and stop and go style of racing. Where are we looking for passing opportunities? Well, turn 1, turn 7, and then turn 9 and 11. Probably the main places, but don't count out everywhere from fitting a Porsche Cup car side by side. The bumpy turn 6 will set up maybe a move into 7, while the exits at turn 4 and turn 14 crucial to maintaining your speed around the lap. Our drivers just filtering their way down onto the grid. And let's head down to Steve Dawson, who will freestyle his way through this grid walk.
Well, the story of this season continues to be Naki Baslan in pole. He's got a 100% record in qualifying this season. That's 4 times out of 4 that he's put it on P1, but he's yet to make it around turn 1. The 4th race will be tomorrow. We're in for race 3 today. Let's have a word with him and see how he's feeling. Naki, congratulations, first of all, on this ridiculously good qualifying form that you're showing. Can you convert it today into something where we'll see you and a checkered flag together?
We can pray for it, right? I think together with the team, EBM, Porsche Malaysia, we've done as best as we can to prepare ourselves for this weekend. And now it comes down to the race, and all we can do is just do as we've been preparing for this weekend. So yeah, I'm just gonna look forward and see where we go.
Wonderful. I hope to see you later on then. Drive safely.
So. Thank you.
All right, it's a beautiful old track here. Let's see who else we can have a word with. This track, almost 30 years old. There's been a lot going on here. There's a grandstand over there that used to have a roof on it, but a tornado blew that off some time ago. So we'll walk down the track and see who else is Marco Gill trap there in, what is that, P3. Lots of people on the circuit today. Let's see if we can get all the way down and have a word with our amateur driver. Brilliant performance from our amateur driver, Zhao Qiguan. He's actually in front of all of the other amateur drivers with some to spare. There are, I think, 3 or maybe 4 Pro-Am drivers between him and his competitors in that category. So it's going to be a wonderful performance and a great opportunity for him to see if he can actually improve that gap and get to checkered flag. Let's see if we can have a word with Qiguan in that case. He's in P7. His car 610. There he is, the blue car right ahead of us. Let's get over there. We've still got time, I think. Such a great qualifying performance and a really good opportunity for him to make a mark in the category so far. Qiguan, you got somebody in your car first of all. What's going on there? Why can't you get in the car just yet?
为什么你的车上现在有人，为什么还不能上车？
我的车下面踏板那里离合稍微调一下，稍微有一点低。
The clutch is a little bit low, so he's adjusting the clutch.
Now you've got a load of Pro-Ams between you and your nearest competitors in the amateur category. This is a great opportunity for you to get a checkered flag today.
就是今天你的这个发车的位置，就是在很多的这个精英组的车手，还有其他绅士组的车手前面，那是不是会给你很多的优势呢？
是的，是的，因为这个发车位置是不错的，因为珠海的赛道1号弯是比较窄的，如果在中间发车，在靠后的位置发车的话，是有一定的危险程度。对，这个发车位置对还是比较有利的。
Yes, it definitely has an advantage because turn 1, it's very narrow. So if you are starting from the back, it will be a little bit dangerous. But if you are starting from the front, it's definitely going to give me a lot of advantage.
All right, I want to warn our cameramen not to trip over that fan on the ground there. We have an opportunity. I think we have time to have a word with the only woman who's driving on the grid. It's Amna Al-Kubaisi. I made the mistake of referring to everybody on the grid today as boys. My apologies for that, Amna. How are you feeling ahead of your drive on this really entertaining old track?
I'm feeling quite good, excited. Second time here, so I'm looking forward to it.
Seems like you've had a good tussle last time around with Bao Jinlong. He seems to be always quite close to you on the starting grid. He's way at the back this time, but you're enjoying the competitiveness with all of these drivers around you?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's very clean and at the same time very competitive. So I'm very looking forward to fighting now with the top guys.
And you're in a similar position on the grid tomorrow. What are your hopes for this weekend?
Honestly, for me, it's just to better myself and do better than my starting position. So it's my first time on this car and in this season. So it's just to have fun and to do better than myself.
Drive safely.
Thank you.
All right, that's Amna Al-Kubaisi. As you can see, we get to the back of the grid here, and it's a big grid. We've got about 30 drivers this season on the grid. It's going to be hard work getting around that first corner, but there's a lot of talent here, so let's see how it all works out.
Thanks, Steve, for Amna Al-Kubaisi, Team Jepsen. It's one of the teams who effectively, this is a local race for, so a team no doubt will be enjoying the festivities. Quick talk about championship standings then, where Ling Pang sits on top, Marcus Limon just 1 point back, Marco Giltrap, Marvin Klein and Rodrigo Diaz Almeida the top 5. Of note, Nakib Aslan, who led the championship technically after round 1 because he qualified on pole position, but remember, he did not start race 2, and that has allowed the others to jump their way forward. In Pro-Am, Wong Jong-wei in front of Bao Jin Long, Lu Wei and Francis Chia the rest of the class, while Francis recovers from the injury sustained in round 1. We wish him well and hope to see him back later this season. Chao Chi Kwan, we had a quick chat with him. Roy Tang, Henry Kwong and Eric Kwong, the two brothers who have been defending champions in past. Of course, let's not forget Henry, defending champion right now, sit in front of Yen Chuang, but still very close in what might be one of the most competitive classes of all. Last but not least, Masters, where Jackie Wu, John Shen and Douglas Koo all got off the ground at the opening round of the season. Adrian De Silva, the defending champion and the inaugural champion in class, has some work to do after unfortunately sitting out, his seat taken by Roy Tang, who now jumps back into his regular 610 racing machine. The grid slowly will clear, and our drivers get ready to fire around for an ever important formation lap to get the temperature into the tires and prepare themselves for the 16 lap or 30-minute race. There's Alex Sawyer, who's going to start all the way at the back of the field after not setting a lap time inside of 107%. But still starts at the back, where to score championship points, he will have some work to do. Running down through the starting grid, Team Porsche Malaysia. Nakib Aslan continues the run qualifying alongside of Marcus Amon in the front row. Marco Giltrap and Rodrigo Diaz Almeida split row 2, while Liu Chi and Lin Pang 5th and 6th positions. Montego Masson again returns as a guest driver. He's alongside of Josh Berry in the EBM 11. Alexander Tauscher returns to a Porsche Cup car. He's alongside of Seth Gilmore, while Chao Chi Kwan, alongside of fellow Am Roy Tang, line up on row 6. Amna Al-Kubaisi and Wong Jong-wei then split row 7 behind them, while Henry Kwong and Yen Chuang continue to run in front of a whole bunch of Pro-Am drivers. Lu Zhuwei is alongside of Eric Kwong, while Simon Chan and Adrian De Silva, 19th and 20th, finally get us down into the Masters drivers. Lu Wei started inside of the top 10 overall in Shanghai. Some work to do alongside of Jackie Wu, John Shen and Li Ning, 23rd and 24th, while Bao Jin Long, 6-time champion from 25th, is alongside of Douglas Koo, while Liu Chao is alongside of Zhang Jiawei, Dominic Chia and Alex Sawyer round out the 30 machines. Couple of new names. Zhang Jiawei makes his debut in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, while Lu Zhuwei returns to the series for the first time in a couple of years. Alexander Tauscher slips into the seat of Marvin Klein, who unfortunately has some other racing obligations today, but we'll see him for the rest of the season, starting at Fuji in just under a month's time. Glorious sound of the engines as slowly begin the rollout for our formation lap around this 4.319 kilometers Zhuhai International Circuit. Opened back in 1996 and initially earmarked to bring Formula One to China. It took almost another decade for that to happen at Shanghai International Circuit, but Porsche Carrera Cup Asia has visited this track all the way back first in 2006. It was a staple through 2014. It returned as a one-off in 2021. Doesn't mean our drivers don't have experience here. Amna Al-Kubaisi referred to a previous trip. She said it's her second time here. It's because we held our official Porsche test days to open the season up at this very track. And there's plenty of Porsche celebrations as well. I heard there's a collection of over 1,000 Porsches and their owners in attendance this weekend, so hoping for a good atmosphere around the paddock. This is the 278th race in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia history. And while some drivers, they may not have been in the car since the 14th of March, 15th of March rather, when we last went racing. For Alex Sawyer, for Henry and Eric Kwong, the Bergwerk trio all entered the most recent round of the Porsche Carrera Cup Japan, which raced alongside of Formula One at the Zhuhai International Circuit. They were joined by Dylan Pereira, our defending pro champion. Not racing with us this season, but that was part of his prize for winning the championship, was the entry into that race. He finished P3. Alex Sawyer finished in P5, but given that he's starting way down there in 30th today, I would be quite surprised to see if he'll match the P5 finish today. For those wondering as well why Bao Jinlong and Lu Wei a little bit out of position, well, they had 10-place grid drops after race control decisions at Shanghai. So for Lu Wei, that was due to some contact in the race. For Bao Jinlong, that was actually contact after the race. So the long arm of the stewards extends all the way here to round 3 of the championship. You can see there, bottom of the screen, Bao Jinlong all the way down in 25th position as we unwind out of turn 14. Hopefully with temperature into our Michelin Pilot Challenge tires. Pilot Sport tires, excuse me. And ready to go for the first time in Zhuhai in 5 years. Slight difference, of course, with now the introduction of anti-lock brakes. A lot more downforce at the front of this car. But our track record extends all the way back to 2013. Earl Bamber, 137.687. We've already beaten that in qualifying. Will we beat it in the race as well? The overall track record is a blistering 15 seconds faster from an LMP1 prototype back in the day from when they used to come and race here as well. What a glorious sight. For the first time in a month, our Porsche Carrera Cup Asia field for 2026 is together once again. And all 30 of these brand new 992.2 Cup cars slot into their grid stalls. And we are ready to go for the second and final event in China this season. Wait for the sound of the Porsche Symphony and the lights to come up. 16 laps, 30 minutes of racing. A very short hold and off and away we go. Naqib Aslan makes contact with Marcus Amond and onto the brakes into turn 1. The Finn holds the inside. More drama off the start for our pole sitter, but at least this time unscathed. And a turn 2 digs the left sides into the grass. And now dropped behind Marco Giltrap as well. Rodrigo Diaz Almeida thought about a stint in that orange WeTrain Phantom Global machine, but as we unwind out of turn 4, drama behind, and it includes Lu Wei. Look at him skip over the bumps. Aslan has to go defensive. Meanwhile behind, Lin Khan tries to get up the inside of Rodrigo Diaz Almeida in that green Origin Motorsports machine. And already you can see the safety car boards come out. Will slow the pace of the race down. More trouble in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. We've got 2 AM drivers tangled up as well. I think that's Lu Wei that's gone over to maybe have a quick chat with one of them. Already, you can see that. And there comes Lu Wei stepping out of the car, excuse me. How frustrating for him. That's 2 consecutive races now where it's an unfortunate DNF for him. So impressive in qualifying at Shanghai. And take away the 10th position grid drop that he got, his lap time was actually good enough to put him into 11th on the grid. You can see how much the contact on the initial race start has taken body parts off of our machines. Wondering if we'll see anyone down on pit lane. We saw last year at Mandalika, one of our Endurance Cup rounds, if you lost the front splitter, you really did start to struggle, and that entire front end has been one of the major talking points about the update here in this new Cup car. Great look on board with Rodrigo Diaz Almeida. Just waiting for timing to confirm before I mention the other 2 cars mixed up in that incident. Alex Sawyer does seem to have been able to move from 30th to 21st. There's a bit more angry on the left side of the track there. Let's take a look at this race start. Contact. Amazed that we got away with it. You can see how much they were slewing sideways. Lights come off. Marcus Simon does a good job of responding to the lights. Maybe not as good as Marco Giltrap, to be fair. And Yen Chuang in that pink BWT machine would have been involved in 4 wide. Great view from Diaz Almeida of everything into turn 1 between the leaders. And then as they run over the bumps off turn 3, the drama's already unfolded behind them. Couldn't quite pick up from that replay what happened, but I did note 4 wide at one point. So leading Pro-Am is Wong Zhongwei. He's got a lot of separation between the only other car in class, Bao Jinlong. There's the aftermath of what went on. Taking a look at the spotter's guide and trying to figure out based on colors. My timing's not really updating and giving me anything of importance here. You can see the track team already hard at work to slowly remove all the shards that have fallen off on the outside of turn 1. This does mean we're burning laps and time. 16 laps or 30 minutes. Our 16-lap race should finish relatively easily inside of 30 minutes, but that's without the intervention of one safety car, let alone potentially multiple, because you know what they say, cautions breed cautions. On board with the championship leader, Ling Kong, although waiting for the cars on the left to be recovered. That's actually going to see the red flag, maybe to make it a bit quicker for our team to be able to remove them. But for Ling Kang, unfortunately, if things were to finish as they are, Marcus Amon would take over the championship lead. Still very early in the season, though. Trips to Fuji, to Bongsen, a street circuit, let's not forget there. Then a trip to Sepang, another of our endurance rounds, and the only endurance round this season as well. Last year we had 2 for our Endurance Cup. This year it's just the 1. That does mean a rolling start as well, let's not forget, and then finish off once more on the streets of Singapore, linking back up with the Formula 1 paddock, which for some drivers which will be their 3rd time this season racing in the Formula 1 community. I did read after the opening round of the championship that for drivers like John Shen, it was very special to stand on the top step of a Formula One podium with everybody watching on, of course, just before the big race itself. Slightly different environment this weekend as we take centre stage. It does allow for a bit more relaxed of an environment for the drivers. There's no doubt about that. A little less stress on your shoulders, knowing that there's a few less eyes of importance watching. Although never in this series is your performance not under evaluation. We have a handful of our drivers in the pro class who are part of the Porsche talent pool. They did a training camp just before this round of the championship. Went to the UFC Performance Institute in Shanghai for a whole suite of physical and I'm sure mental exercises as well. They also get training at the track, resources to help them build through a race weekend, and it's important for some of these drivers who are making the transition, the step into sports cars for the very first time. Let's take another look at what happened on that initial race start. I'm going to focus attention a little bit further back. So Marcus Amon makes that decent start. There's that contact, and now looking for bright red and orange machines because we had two of them off the track. So Yen Chuang squeezed there slightly with one of the Kwongs. I mean, I still don't quite understand how our top two didn't tussle into something a little bit more significant, but BWT Shanghai Yonder hold on to the lead now. A lot of work for Niki Baslan to not just slip past Marco Giltrap second, but to find his way forward. Still not really sure about what happened behind, though, and so as our drivers try and cool down slightly, it's not the warmest of days by any means. This car does have a quite good air conditioning system from what I've been told. But already you can see some drivers fanning the doors to create some airflow. I would guess that car not running means aircon doesn't work, so manual airflow may be required instead. What this should mean is that with the race having been red flagged inside of the opening 2 laps, the race start is null and void. Here we go. Might have a better look at that. Oh, airborne. So 2 very damaged Porsche Cup cars. Who now will hopefully be able to be repaired in time for tomorrow. Now, I don't think that's going to require an engine or gearbox replacement necessarily. But still plenty of work for the crew. Confirmation from Race Control. Big thank you to them. It was, of course, Liu Wei. I did call that out. It was Liu Zhuhai returning to the championship instead of Francis Chia in the Open Road Racing 21, as well as Liu Chao in the 610 Racing 99. Those were the 3 cars who were into the gravel. Turn 1 left-hand side. And seemingly not expecting them to take any further part in today's proceedings. One more look. Marco Giltrap. Where was his momentum going to take him? The Origin 87. Lin Khan makes a good start too. Then gets the momentum kind of stalled out. turn 1 and 2 here is kind of a tighter version of turns 1 and 2 at Motegi in some ways, where we did go racing last year. Turn 2 maybe opens out a little bit more. So for Liu Wei in the white and purple Origin Motorsport Pro-Am entry, I would suspect some damage on the right front for him is what we did not see in that camera angle. And now the crew is given time to assist their drivers. Let's talk about the history of this track, because in doing my research, obviously found out about the initial aim to bring Formula 1 here, but then when it was graded as FIA Grade 2, a step below what is required to bring Formula 1 here, it has ended up still being a very prominent motorsports track. And well, that's also because Zhuhai as a region has played host to racing even before the track was built. Street racing from 1993, and once the track in 1996 was built, obviously the action shifted slightly to here. No layout changes in the now going on 30 years of track operation. It'll be 30 years this November. And while we're seeing sports car racing here, they did end up having some open wheel machinery. A1 Grand Prix came and raced here for a single year, but maybe more important note to some will be the fact that we had 4 years of FIA GT action. We had an Intercontinental Le Mans Cup race. Asian Le Mans has been here on occasion too. There's been plenty of sports car heritage built into the history here. There's Marcus Amon in the Porsche Dealer Trophy defending champion entry. Dylan Pereira formerly in the seat. Marcus Amon now in his stead. Let's listen in. Just to make it fully safe that you don't lose, because someone can say you lose it too much, even though you don't. Okay? Couldn't quite pick out what was being said there. Surely something of note. Looking like we are getting ready to go once again. Safety car has been popped up on the left for a moment, so I'm wondering if we won't get a restart as I initially had assumed. Other history of this track. I'm a fan of IndyCar racing. I didn't realise that at one point they were going to come and race Indy cars here, or Champ cars as they were known back in the day. They came and did an unofficial test, but never actually got the race itself done and dusted. There we go. Grid is being cleared. In addition to other racing that never happened here. Super GT at one point had ambitions of racing here. That was a good 22 years ago. It would have been 20 years ago that Champ Car would have announced their intentions to come and run here. How much has changed in the 20 years since then? One thing hasn't changed though. Porsche Carrera Cup Asia continuing to run, the longest single make championship in Asia, and now into our 23rd season. Some great tracks this year as well, returning to Zhuhai and Fuji, returns to Bongsen, Sepang and Marina Bay, all of course part of our 2025 calendar as well. This is a great opportunity for drivers to sample great racetracks and also great racing. Let's head down to the grid to see who Steve's been able to steal.
I've got Lu Jiwei with me, one of the casualties from that first lap. Jiwei, just take us through what happened to you. How come you ended up here in the pit so early on?
It was really massive at the beginning. I was being sandwiched at the 5 seconds, and then maybe I just locked up my tire and I went to the grass and hit somebody. Yeah.
If you hadn't hit somebody on the grass, would you have been able to come off and continue? You lose a bit of traction on the grass, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but that's race.
Some damage. Will you be able to drive tomorrow?
Let's see. Let's see what our team can do.
Where's the damage, on the front of the car?
Yeah, front and the rear.
Okay. All right. Good luck. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Back to you guys.
Steve with the unenviable task of talking to a driver after an incident. Never the easiest thing to do. And we appreciate Lu Jiwei's time and answers as well. Quite honest in saying that he's not sure. Has to wait and see what the team will be able to do. A couple of great teams in the paddock as well. Home race, as mentioned, for Team Jebsen, but also for Absolute Racing. Alexander Tauscher and Montego Masson, a couple of their pro drivers hoping to work their way through the top 10. Medina Motorsports as well. John Shen, it's a local race for him. As team owner there, Dominic Chia, it's a local race for Huang's, Henry and Eric too, so lots of drivers who are eager to taste some success. Let's head back down to Steve, see who else he's able to catch up with as we get ready to go racing.
Alex Young is Nakib Aslan's coach. Alex, I know you were watching on the screen. What's your view of what happened just as they were approaching turn one?
Well, I think Nakib didn't get a very good start, and then they were side by side. Difficult to tell because of the head-on shot, I don't know who was in front or not, but from the head-on shot, it suddenly looked like he was a bit rude.
I mean, that's the thing. From head-on, he came a long way across. Didn't leave Marcus Amon much room, did he?
No, but no harm done, and let's see what happens now.
It looks like it's going to be a fabulous competition between those two, not just this weekend, but perhaps for the season to come.
Yeah, the season's shaping up quite well. We've got some good drivers there, and hopefully we'll see more battles throughout the whole year.
All right, well, the drivers are back on their formation lap. Thanks to Alex. We'll get back to our commentators.
Let's not forget Alex Young, one of the team behind the scenes for Nakib Aslan. Of course, all these drivers by themselves on track, but lots of help for them, no doubt. Nakib has entered his Porsche journey via the Porsche Esports Sprint Challenge Malaysia. He was one of the 2025 champions. That championship returning for 2026. If you are in Malaysia, eager to go racing, you're as young as 10 years old, up to 23 years old. There's an opportunity for you maybe to catch the eye of Porsche as well. Registration closes on the 15th of April, so don't dawdle. Head over to the Porsche website to learn more about that. Safety car will be in this lap, so maybe I slightly misinterpreted the rules. We will get a restart, and for the likes of Bao Jinlong, that means that he will have to be aggressive here. Single file on the run back up to turn one. The field now in control of Marcus Amon, the Flying Finn. We saw his potential last year when he joined us at Mandalika, and now here for the full season, hoping to win the championship. Punches the throttle. We're racing once again in the 2026 Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, and a whole handful of drivers go wide at turn 14. That's something race control will flag. Marco Giltrap bobs and ducks and weaves for a moment, and into turn one. Half-hearted look from Seth Gilmore. A little bit further back, some action as got a half-hearted look from Liu Ray Chi. He's a pro driver trying to make a move on an AM driver. He's for championship points. With a bit more authority comes one of the Absolute Racing entries. Down at turn 4, sends it up the inside. And that's a nicely executed move. Hard onto the brakes once again. The second Absolute Racing car now trying to follow past as Steph Gilmore seemingly vulnerable on this restart. Gilmore in the Porsche Centre Adelaide bright orange. Not going to miss it on screen, that's for sure. He's able to get back in front, though, crucially, of Montego Masson. As Chao Chi Kwan slightly stumbles now over the tail end of some of his AM competitors. He's lost out here as our three other classes outside of Pro finally start to settle down. Those pro drivers are losing championship points. That's why they are trying to make their way through, and sometimes they'll be a little less patient about it, you would think. See lots of AstroTurf on the outside of the track. Drivers are allowed to run out onto it 4 times before they'll get penalised. A couple of drivers pushing the limits, but flag just yet. Fastest lap punched in by Marco Giltrap as he now looks to try and put a bit of separation between him and Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida, who increasingly is looking in the rearview mirrors because Nakeeb Aslan is starting to put the bit between his teeth once more. Leaning's been able to nurse the Phantom Global Racing 79 to pit lane, so the experienced team will diagnose any issues, work on them overnight, and hopefully send him back out for tomorrow's second 16-lap race. There are the two bright blue absolute racing machines. Alexander Tauscher, who races Porsche Carrera Cups all over Europe, and indeed in the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup as well, slots into the seat of Marvin Klein, who has some other racing obligations this weekend. And Marvin will be back with us for the next round of the championship in just under a month's time. As the pros finally start to separate themselves out a little bit more from one another. Wang Zhongwei left on the outside of the track, but gets a great run off the corner. It's not making life easy for Liu Chi here. Into the race into turn one. Finally, the pro car will slip in front of the Pro-Am. Now Joshua Berry in the EBM 11, the blue rear-ended Porsche Cup car, watches as Wang Zhongwei pokes back up the inside. It costs him at turn 3 though, because at turn 4, there goes Josh Berry. A couple of points for pro drivers as we knock on the half race distance in this race. The safety car then leading to red flag. It's also something that could have slightly interrupted the rhythm of some drivers, and that's where you expect the pro drivers to sometimes have that edge, and not just consistency on track, but often the ability to get back up to speed after the slightly awkward scenarios that can befall you on race weekend. Seth Gilmore in that orange Porsche Centre Adelaide 24. He's losing track of the top 7 and increasingly will be vulnerable. So the two pro cars have just passed Wang Zhongwei, our Pro-Am leader. Chao Chi Kwan is back up front in the AM class, done a great job there. Well, Jackie Wu in front of John Shen and Adrian De Silva. That's the Masters 1, 2, 3. 18th, 19th and 20th overall. Bao Jinlong and Amna Al-Khabaisi have been battling once more, found each other on track. This is the 13th and 14th overall. We've got Chao Chi Kwan not too far in front of them, and of course then look at the train that continues. The aero upgrades on the front end of this car helping them through the faster speed corners, the fast kinks to avoid the dirty air. Now the Michelin tyre is seemingly worn enough that it's a bit more difficult to make new moves behind Liu Chi. Wang Zhongwei has another look up the inside of Josh Berry, forces him off the track this time a little bit, through the double left-handers at 9 and 10. And Wang Zhongwei not quite in front. Remember, the only other car he's fighting with is Bao Jinlong, who from 25th on the grid has climbed up 11 positions on the combined timing tower. But it's the crucial position that now sits in front of him. Remember, 4 different races all occurring on track at the same time. Right on board with our 6-time Pro-Am champion. Amna Al-Khabaisi is trying to now look the long way around on Chao Chi Kwan. Oh, beautifully executed move through the tightening turns 1 and 2. Bao Jinlong's going to give a shove to the back of the Team Jebsen machine. And now follow on the outside of turn 3, not brave enough to try and force it at turn 4 just yet. He knows he's still got 6 laps left. Try and close on his class leader for the win here tonight. Bao Jinlong actually won the last Pro-Am race back in 2021. Eric Kwong won the AM class that day as well. He sits third in the AM proceedings as it stands currently. It has updated on the left. We are now confirmed as now having only 3 laps left to go. Wong Jong-wei trying to now just focus on clean air. Chao Chi Kwan, he's driving in the mirrors, aware of the fact that Bao Jinlong is there. Look at the gap behind, so much separation to Roy Tang and Eric Kwong, that the impressive performance from Chao Chi Kwan qualifying backed up in the race as well. Qualified second for the opening round of the championship, but first for round 2 and first here in round 3 as well. Looking like the form on his side. And with 10 AM competitors, we did think that could be one of the more intriguing classes this year. Only 4 series running this new Porsche Cup car in 2026. Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, Porsche Carrera Cup North America, which will actually be at the streets of Long Beach next weekend. Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland, and of course the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup. It meant that the 3 drivers, Alex Sawyer and then the 2 Kwong brothers who went and raced Porsche Carrera Cup Japan, actually went and raced the old Porsche Cup car, adapted to life without ABS for one weekend. Now with the helpful addition of that aid under brakes. They don't, though, let's just reiterate, have the addition of traction control. The car is equipped with it, but we don't use it in this series. It's something more intended for endurance racing, which is something else that anti-lock brakes often is quite helpful in. Keith Aslan settled down back behind Rodrigo Diaz Almeida. The fight continues outside of the top 10. Big defense from Amna Al-Kabasi, who's managed to get in front of Chao Chi Kwan, but back out through turn 1. Chao Chi Kwan thought about trying to get back underneath. Slowly bringing Roy Tang into the mix as well. Now, white and blue, 610 Racing, number 25. So in this picture, we've got our Pro-Am and AM leads slowly negotiating their way through this fight. Such a tricky circuit, though, in many ways. Stop and go nature brings passing opportunities, but also makes it very easy to fall into the concertina of the driver in front of you's rhythm. And right now, these drivers just don't think as though they've got enough speed to pull alongside through the middle part of the lap. It's turn 1 where really they are focused on the exit out of turn 14, so important. In the running through turn 1, out to turn 3 and 4, also crucial. Behind Josh Berry, Amna Al-Kabasi picks up a pro fight, so that's the fight for 10th in pro. As Bao Jinlong finally got a good enough run off turn 14 to slip in front of Chao Chi Kwan. Not quite, and still 3 cars sit between Bao Jinlong and the next Pro-Am competitor, Wong Jong-wei. Remember, our track temperature not the warmest day by any means, and slowly but surely cooling off, working through the afternoon as well. Our Michelin Pilot Sport tyres long as you not overwork them, should still have some life to give you. Last time by, Marcus Amon pulled a couple of tenths of a second over Marco Giltrap. Still Marco Giltrap with the fastest lap of the race, the only driver to jump into the 136s, and that means that Team Porsche New Zealand, Marco Giltrap, looking like the lap record is going to be headed their way. Meanwhile, Bao Long suddenly finds himself with Alcamasi to fight with once again. Chao Chi Kwan has slipped through as we're on the last lap of round 3 in this 2026 Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Now Alcamasi might have an issue. Look at the balance of the car out through turn 14. Understeers wide, slow momentum, and Bao Long forced out into the dirty stuff below the white line. 6-time Pro-Am champion, veteran of the series. No worries, though, able to keep the foot planted and hold on to the position. That will mean Josh Berry holds on to his spot. Wong Jong-wei should hold on to his position as well, as Anna Alcabasi has now a real fight to grab some championship points back. Back out to the sweeping turn 7. Josh Berry's had an issue as well, so I wonder if Berry and Alcabasi has made contact. Chao Chi Kwan's been able to make his way through too. All showing us that we're in for a feisty second race tomorrow. Off the track goes Bao Long. But up front, the flying Finn, Marcus Amon, wins the first race at the Zhuhai International Circuit for the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia in 2026. He converts in front of Marco Giltrap, Rodrigo Diaz Almeida. On the Keep Aslan sees the checkered flag, albeit down in 4th position. Profield streaks across the line as Wong Jong-wei will celebrate Pro-Am victory. Chao Chi Kwan will celebrate the Am victory and wait to get confirmation. But it might be Jackie Wu who, after a tumultuous fight between the Masters drivers, comes through on top. Adrian De Silva will finish down in 3rd, as indeed John Shen in 2nd, and Jackie Wu will win in the Masters class in the Porsche-owned Retail 69 team. Well, an interesting race for Marcus Amon, all the action at the race start. And after that, able to control the restart and allow the field to fight amongst themselves. And the 3 DNFs from this race, with a couple of drivers now hoping they haven't left their team too much work to do overnight. I wonder if there is any work for BWT Shanghai Honda in a partnership with Phantom Global Racing. If there's any work for them to do overnight, or if they're pretty happy with the balance of the car, with the effort of the driver, and the results on the day. Great result for Marco Giltrap as well, building up into his 2nd full season in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. We did talk with Alex Imperatori on the grid. He said that this might be the most competitive field that we have seen in series history. Plenty of fighting, no doubt about that. Marcus Amon plants BWT Shanghai Honda back where they were so familiar last year with Dylan Pereira. Top spot in victory lane. a failli sortir l'autre podium. Good hug, celebration with the team. And then we'll enjoy our podium celebrations. Porsche Junior for 2026 marks them on 1 of 2. Of course, there's a reason why. He caught the eyes of Porsche in the shootout last year. He won to watch. But once again, Niki Bazlan, who will start on pole position tomorrow, if he can have a better start, might have a chance of interrupting Marcos Amond, who was 4 seconds clear of Marco Giltrap, Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida, Niki Bazlan, and Lin Kang, your top 5. Alexander Tauscher in front of Montego Masson, 2 of our non-full season drivers. Then Liu Ruiqi, Seth Gilmore, and Wong Zhongwei, first Pro-Am driver. Then Chao Ji-Quan, first Am driver, slips in front of Josh Berry. Bao Jinlong, Amna Al-Khabazi, and Roy Tang, the top 15. Roy Tang, that's consecutive podiums for him, by the way, after being scored as the race winner in the opening round of the championship as well. He is enjoying his 2026 start. Eric Kwong stands on the podium once again here at Zhuhai, although he won both of the races here in 2021. Jackie Wu, Yen Zhuang, and the rest of the field that we'll talk about in a second. Set down, though, catch up with our winner.
Marcos Amond proving once again what a great racer he is. First of all, Marcos, how are you feeling?
Quite tired, actually. A lot of pressure with the red flag. I didn't know if the race gonna restart or not. So I was really hoping it was gonna go back on safety car, which it did. So it's pretty good. And then just cruising around to the finish line. I didn't really have much pressure behind because they fought. So I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
Talking about pressure, just take us through those first few moments to turn 1.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Marco just bumped him in the rear, and my steering wheel went all the way to the left. So I think I had an issue for the rest of the race. But I got lucky that I was P1 after the first turn. So at the end, it was okay.
You did say in Shanghai that it was a bit too rough for your liking. Would you feel the same about that?
Not really. I think it was more Marco tried to help me, and it happened that way. But it was a clean race for me. I don't know what happened behind, but for me, it was okay.
All right, well done.
Thank you.
Interesting. Very interesting. So Marco Giltrap, a little bit of contact. Maybe that sets things off. But I like what we did hear there from Marcos, which was that after what he thought was a bit too aggressive racing from some in the opening round, things settled down a bit, even from what looked to be a rather physical race start. Quick confirmation, by the way, of the rest of the results. Wanted to go and catch up with our race winner before he went to stand on the podium. So behind, get to that in a second. Let's catch up with second place, who Steve's stole now.
Wang Shui also taking the checkered flag, complaining that you're a little bit tired. I don't blame you. How does it feel?
I feel it's my biggest two driver against me in the same group. They already got penalty. So for me, just drive and finish the race. So yeah, just because here is too hot, so I'm a little bit dizzy. So but it's okay. So it's kind of easy race for me. Yeah.
I'll let you get some water soon, but it's not as hot here as it can be in some other locations. But humidity is high, isn't it? That's right.
Yeah. Of course, here is really special, right? The temperature, the humidity is it's the tough track here. So for me, yeah.
Get some water before you get some champagne.
Okay, thank you.
Wong Zhongwei, our Pro-Am winner, not second place. I'll quickly try and run through the rest of the results. So behind Roy Tang, Eric Kwong, Jackie Wu, John Shen. So Jackie Wu does indeed win the Masters class. Yen Chuang, Adrian De Silva, Simon Chan, Alex Sawyer, Jiang Jiawei, Douglas Koo, Dominic Cha, Henry Kwong, and then leaning the last of our confirmed finishers, although he finished in pit lane. Remember, we had 3 machines as DNS: Liu Chao, Lu Wei, and Lu Zhuhai. Let's head back down, catch up with Zhao Jiquan.
Zhao Jiquan winner in our amateur category. Another one who looks very tired. How tough are the conditions out there?
就你看起来很累，就是刚刚在赛道上会很困难吗？
是的，因为今天起步的时候，因为我们头一开始在暖胎圈的时候，我试到我的离合比较低，就往上调了一点，所以但是技师可能调的比较多，起步有点失误，就落到后面，就全程一直在追车，确实今天是非常累的一个比赛，因为今天珠海的天气也是比较热的，对。
Yes, because like remember I adjusted my clutch. It was a little bit low, so it was it gone higher, but it was a little bit too high. So I think it was quite difficult for me to keep adjusting. So I was behind for a few positions, and it's really hot today.
Yeah, great start to the weekend though. Can we expect the same thing tomorrow?
可是我觉得你就是这个周末有一个很好的开始，那你觉得明天也会有这样好的表现吗？
希望自己明天还有这样的表现。
Hope so.
All right, well done.
OK， 谢谢。
And I'd forgotten about the clutch issue that he had mentioned when there was someone in his car and Steve meandered down to him on our grid walk. And that does explain a lot. He is looking very good this week, is Zhao Jiquan, and I would not be surprised if he is able to grab another win tomorrow. One more winner, Jackie Wu in the Masters. Steve's got him.
Jackie Wu gets top spot in the Masters category. Jackie, you shared champagne with us last time round in Shanghai. Will you be doing the same this time?
Yes. Oh. He said yes.
You will. Take us through the drive. How was it today?
今天的这个赛车的过程怎么样？
很惊险，超车我超的也很辛苦，然后战况也很惊险。对。
It was very risky, and it was quite challenging to overtake as well.
I can see the sweat coming down from your forehead there. Tough conditions.
是的，我看到你的额头流了很多汗，是不是非常的炎热啊？
热到还好，主要是太刺激了，心跳很快，嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣。
I think the heat is fine, but it was really intense. It makes my heart race a lot, like bom 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 bom.
Great seeing you race today. Congratulations.
好，恭喜你啊
Thank you.
No translation needed for that first question, clearly. The party likely to be tomorrow night, I would argue. Our drivers all know they've got one more race tomorrow to focus on. So as the drivers get ready to celebrate, let's take a look at some of the highlights of the action-packed opening race of the weekend here at the Zhuhai International Circuit. A little bit of a push from Marco Giltrapich, so Mark Zamond and Naki Bazlan have a little bit of a wiggle. We'll see what all the drivers think about that in the aftermath. Contact, though, saw the likes of Lu Zhuhai and Lu Wei unfortunately see their races come to an end and the red flag come out after the field neutralised behind the safety car. It meant that Marcus Amond would lead us back to the green, and when we did, what great racing, just on the edge of the top 10. Bao Jinlong pushing his way through the field after qualifying all the way down in 25th position, not pushing himself though off the track as Naki Bazlan did, and then saved it. A beautiful control of the car, held on to fourth on track. Meanwhile, Bao Jinlong found himself in a fight once more with Amna Al-Khabaisi. That fight was between Pro and Pro-Am drivers. Bao Jinlong got as close as he could to his class leader Wang Zhongwei, but it was all in vain. Marc Zamond came out on top. The familiar BWT Shanghai on the pink colours on top, although this time Marcus Amon, not Dylan Carrera, after Dylan's stellar season in 2025. A reminder, we have another race tomorrow around 2:40 in the afternoon local time. Should be very exciting to see if Naki Bazlan can have a slightly better start this time and maybe fight Marcus down to turn one. Does sound like there is a bit of work for the Shanghai Honda crew to do for Marcus. Maybe the steering slightly offset on the car after contact. wonder if that means for Marco Giltrap there will be any lasting impact to the front of the Team Porsche New Zealand machine that now holds the Porsche Cup record around the track. Ended up going about, what was the lap record? 137.687 for Earl Bamber. So only ended up about 7/10 quicker, but that's still a fairly healthy margin, you would say. There is the Michelin man, Monsieur Bibendum. If it's hot in the cars, can only imagine how warm Mr. Bibendum is. It's a special time when you get to spray the champagne. And once more we get that opportunity to do so, to hand out some of our checks as well. Let's head down to the podium for the first time this weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the presentation for round 3 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2026 in Zhuhai International Circuit, China. Now, let's invite the winners of round 3 for the overall class. On third place, let's welcome driver number 8, Rodrigo Diaz Almeida from Retreat Vanda Globo. On second place, we have driver number 66, Marco Giltrap from Team Porsche New Zealand. And the winner goes to driver number 3, Marcus Amon from BWT Shanghai. Congratulations to our dealer winner, BWT Shanghai. Now may I please to invite Mr. Alex Gibo, the Director of Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific, to please present the winner trophy, the check, and the dealer trophy. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Alex Imperatori, the manager of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, to present the second place trophy together with a check. And next, we would like to invite Mr. Victor Wang Yuxuan 先生, Michelin Motorsport Technical Manager Asia Pacific, to present the third place trophy and together with a check. And may I invite all of the award presenters to join them for a group photo, please. Big smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much to all of our award presenters. Let's pass the check to our beautiful ladies. And it's almost time. Let's get ready to celebrate. Congratulations again to our overall class winners!
Plenty more celebrations to come. Always great to hear that music. You know, it's champagne spraying time. Remember, in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia Masters Championship was new last year, so as of 2025, 4 of our podium ceremonies each weekend. 4 opportunities to spray the champagne. Let's get ready to do it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite the winners for the Pro M class. On second place, we have driver number 7, Bao Jinlong from Origin Motorsport. Our winner goes to driver number 22, Zhuhai from Origin Motorsport. We are now kindly invite Mr. Alex Gibault, the director of Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific, to please present the winner trophy. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Alex Gibault, manager of Porsche Carrera Asia, to present the second place trophy. And now may I invite our award presenters to please step up on the podium. Let's take a group photo together with our winners. Let's pose for the camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you to our award presenters. Congratulations again to our winners of the Pro-Am class.
Wang Zhongwei was very concerned about protecting his race suit for tomorrow, and I cannot blame him. Remember that Lu Wei, I think unfortunately is a result of the lap 1 contact, will be a DNF on the day. Head back down to the podium though, head back down to Sammy.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite the winners for the M class. On third place, we have driver number 23, Eric Wang from Bergwerk. Second place, we have driver number 25, Tian Furoy Tang from 610 Racing. And our winner goes to driver number 610, Hao Qingwen from 610 Racing. I'd like to once again invite Mr. Alex Gibault to please present the winner trophy. I'd like to invite Alex Gibault to please present the second place trophy. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Victor to present the first place trophy. And may I kindly invite all of the award presenters to join the winners on stage. Let's take a photo together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, award presenters. Congratulations again to our winners for the M class.
Leaves just one final podium ceremony today for our Porsche Carrera Cup Asia action closes out. We'll be back for a hopefully Super Sunday, but before then, one last chance for our Masters drivers to spray the champagne.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite the winners for the Masters class. On third place, we have driver number 61, Adrian De Silva from EBM. On second place, we have driver number 16, John Shen from Modena Motorsport. And our winner goes to driver number 969, Jackie Wu from Porsche All-Retail 619. May I please invite Mr. Alex Gibault to present the winner trophy. I'd like to invite Mr. Alex Gibault to now present the second place trophy. And next we would invite Mr. Victor to present the third place trophy. award presenters. Joining our winners for a group photo, please. All right, everybody, big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, award presenters. And it's time for celebration. Congratulations again to our winners of the Masters class, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us.
Great to have Adrian De Silva back after missing the opening round of the championship. But that is going to bring to an end an exciting opening round of our weekend. Don't forget, one more race tomorrow in the 2026 Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. For our team behind the scenes, Arjuna Kankipati saying goodbye.